Morning. Thank you all for coming out. Is this too loud?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Seems loud to me.
It is.
Okay, good. So before we get started with the presentation I prepared, now it's too low.
No,
Good.
that was perfect.
Here, this is good? I see some thumbs up and some nodding, so I think we've reached consensus. That's good. It's the first step. All right, so before we get started, we have something we'd like to share. A couple, maybe month and a half or so ago, TKC was out here and they did some videos of our campus. One associated with the value of kind of being part of the network, and the other one is just kind of like the general marketing piece. So they haven't been released to the public yet, but I got special secret permission to share them today with you guys. So I'm going to ask, Wayne's going to help me here and make sure that they work. So I'm going to shut off my microphone and let you watch.
To me, the interactions between our community, our bigger community, and our Kendall community are really important. All of us here appreciate being part of a bigger affiliation, and yet we have our own identity.
For 50 years, Kendall's been focused on supporting IMPACT.
Can you put down that line? Or the lights or something?
To me, the interactions between our community, our bigger community, and our Kendall community are really important. All of us here appreciate being part of a bigger affiliation, and yet we have our own identity.
For 50 years, Kendall's been focused on supporting high-impact growth and support our communities across the country. Every day, the team here at the Kendall Corporation and across the Kendall system shows up to amplify impact for our members and residents wherever we go.
The benefit is that you have that available, you access it when you need it, so you as an organization get phenomenally stronger without having to take the time, the money, the capital, the 20 years to bring all that stuff in-house.
It's nice to know that we're with an organization and a system that is forward-thinking, trying to serve populations of people that might be missed, and also providing excellent service for the ones we currently care for.
I sometimes tell people it's like having a triangle. In one corner is the residents, one corner is the board, and the other is administration and staff. And we have to work together to make that triangle, which can go in any direction, to keep it strong and to keep that as a working relationship. It's a benefit to be part of a network that's just right.
You are still who you are. You have your own unique story to tell, your own narrative, your own local board, your local roots. You have control and autonomy over your organization, and yet you have all the benefit of being part of a much larger organization.
Well, I think the Kendall system is always asking the question, who can we serve? How can we serve better? Really help us step back and think about what we could be doing in our own communities to reach more people and make sure that we're bringing really the cutting edge services that help transform aging to our communities.
To be part of a network of people who are all working together to come up with new ideas about the best way to address senior services in our country just adds immeasurably to the wisdom that you can acquire, and it does not require you to give up the individual character or mission of your organization.
The thing that makes the biggest impression when people come to Kendall is meeting with the residents and seeing what the residential community is here. It's a vibrant, engaged community, and everyone finds the residents fascinating and friendly.
I think that the respect for each other is core to our relationship with each other, and that is visible, and you can feel it when you go on site. I think it's a deep honoring of each other and the recognition that we are all on the same path together.
Kendall values like stewardship is shown up, by how we take care of the land and our resources here. Our integrity is stand up, I try to be as honest and outright as I can with the staff, and they show me the same respect.
I see Kendall values show up in care that is given to residents throughout our whole community. I've been so happy that I've been able to grow and stay at Kendall, and that there's been an opportunity for me, and each opportunity has been better for me professionally.
Working for a mission-driven organization is the only kind of organization that I would want to work for. The work is meaningful. It means the people that I'm engaged with are passionate about the work that they are doing. We are really driven centrally by making sure that we are making life better for residents, for the communities that the residents are working in, and for the people who are working for the corporation and for the affiliates every day.
The value structure associated with Kendall, the idea of collaborative leadership and working together, allow yourself the freedom to speak your mind, hold your opinions lightly, and work through the process together. Ultimately, you end up in the right place.
And so we start talking about our values right at the beginning with both staff and residents. We make decisions together, we make decisions thoughtfully, and I think people really expect to see those values. We talk about them all the time.
It's a place where I feel safe and at ease.
We are being cared for by friends.
All right, thank you. So two marketing pieces basically done by Kendall that really were centerpieces up. So I think we should be proud of that. We can use these and share them shortly. So you'll start to see them in social media posts and out on their websites and things like that in the days to come. So, thank you for those who participated. I thought they came out really well. So we're going to jump into today's formal presentation. I'm assuming there's not a lot of questions about the videos, so I'm just going to jump right in here. So just what's on the docket today. We're going to just a brief update on where we are with the project for the air conditioning in the apartment building. I'm going to go into some detail on our staff engagement survey, which will close today. So most of the data I pulled for it was of last night. So barring any big wave of participation, it should be fairly accurate. A little update: we had a career fair a couple weeks back. How did that go? I'll fill you in on that. Some other human resources update and a little explanation on what we've been talking about when we say point-click care. So, or a PCC. I've heard that acronym and said, what is this? Related to the apartment building, so we are in the design phase. There's some additional survey work to be done. It's probably about a third of the way, quarter of the way designed. We're expecting an updated construction schedule soon. Part of the process has been to engage a company in a pre-construction agreement, which will allow us to manage some of the lead times and some of the logistical things that will go on with this project in advance of having a finalized contract. So it's a kind of a different way to approach a project, but with this, it seems like the right thing to do. So we were presented with multiple options of different designs a few months back. We reviewed what those options were, and we decided that we will be moving forward with converting the existing failing VRF system to a water source heat pump system. So it is a project. It's going to take a little time. The estimated construction time right now is a 12-month process. It's a big project. So more details to come on that, and I'm sure there's going to be some questions.
What is VRF?
Variable something frequency. Anyone know? Refrigeration frequency. So yeah, it's more efficient. It'll be more consistent, easier to maintain, but it is going to be a lift. It's going to be a busy, disruptive project. So, long term, this will be something that lasts, a good solid 15 to 20 years for us. So, yes.
Will it affect the entire apartment building or
No.
just the third floor or?
It'll be everything but the expansion on this side of the building that is already has water source heat pumps in it. So it's I don't know. This is the north side, right? So that's the south side, all the way down on the other side. Yeah. We will. I mean, there's going to be some infrastructure that has to be put in advance of getting into units. So this is the kind of timeline I need to understand better before I get that in front of everybody. So, yes.
Once the project starts, will it phase in apartment by apartment, or will it like be a big bang at the end? Everybody converts at once.
No, it'll phase in. It'll phase in, yeah. But the beginning part of it is really laying infrastructure. So it's bringing in boilers and cooling equipment and things like that, getting pipes in place, and then we go unit by unit, as I understand it right now. So, yes.
Could they use the existing ductwork?
Yes, some. There will have to be additional piping put in, though. So, yes.
Where does it stand for heating for the coming winter?
More than likely, it'll depend. Like, we won't take what's offline off if it's functioning for people, but we would probably have to bring in some more robust heating options that we can attach to the existing system. So that's being worked out too. We're trying to get away from the isolated little heaters in everybody's unit and find a more efficient way of delivering heat. So that's in the works as well. Okay. More to come on that. So the staff engagement survey, the tool that we use is called Tiny Pulse. The last time a survey was completed was 2024. The overall satisfaction at that time was 4.61 out of 5. That's just the overall score. And the participation rate was 34%. So slightly below what Tiny Pulse says is enough participation to benchmark against other organizations and industries. So, but close, right? Not too bad. So as of last night, we were at 68% participation for this go around, which is good. We were really shooting for 70. We got one more day to do it. We'll see if we get there. That's 107 out of 158, which has given us a high category of participation. So we feel pretty strong about the information we're getting right now from this survey. So just to give you a little idea, we had 96 people actually write a text or type in some kind of response, which we have to evaluate. And I'll show you a tool in a minute that helps us do that. That's part of the survey system. But where we are compared to, our organizational average right now, so 2 years ago it was 4.61, I think I said, now it's 4.3 out of 5. So that's down, but we had almost twice as many participants, so that's good, right? So I think the information we're getting is stronger. The industry benchmark, so that's all other retirement communities that participate in Tiny Pulse, is right about where we are. So it's 4.04, we're 4.0, so really no big difference there. The overall benchmark would be all the industries that participate in Tiny Pulse, and we're slightly above that. So not too bad. So this is the participation level for by department, which I thought was pretty good. The good thing to kind of note here, if I can do this, we have no department that participated less than that 45%. So that's good news, right? We got good participation. This is a harder group to handle sometimes, but we still got 56%, so that's not bad. This is not bad. You can see the smaller departments, they're a little more engaged, I think, in front of computers, so the survey shows up and they just do it. The other ones are kind of running around a little bit more, so it's hard. But I think we should be generally pleased. You're going to see some vacant spots down here. So what we did do is some of the staff in the past had expressed concern. I feel like I'm getting a lot of... Is that better? I won't move. Some of the staff in the past had kind of expressed concern that their department sizes were small, and by participating in the survey, you could really pick out who they were. So what we had done is we kind of consolidated that in an effort to try to get more participation. So we feel like that is anonymous that way, and people don't feel like they can be kind of pointed out inside the survey. But generally, we're pretty pleased with what we have here. This is an interesting one. So this is all those 98 texts that we got, right? The Tiny Pulse survey will kind of take all the messages and try and find themes. So what you can see here is there's a theme of empowering work environment with 8 sub-themes. I can tell you I have not dug into this very deeply yet. But the interesting thing to note is here's the neutral line. So if you imagine this just being under a curve from positive to negative, right, we are on the right side of the curve. Most of our comments are in the generally neutral to positive area. So that's very good. Well, you see happiness over here, 29 comments about being happy at work with a sub-theme, and that's way over to the positive area. So I think this is a good, without getting deeply into the details of it yet, because I haven't, this is a good sign. Then we see over here, we got a little negative way over here. So there's one little negative here. You probably can't read that, but it says fast start. Fast start, indicating that our onboarding process might need to be evaluated a little bit. Otherwise, got you in, got your background check done, you did your compliance stuff, and we threw you right into work. So, but as far as like even some of the things that we talked about, like you could see the CEO in the video that we just saw from Ithaca talking about how we talk about values and practices with our staff. Like these are the types of things we need to look at, I think, with our staff and how we're onboarding them. At least that's what that's indicating to me at this point. So, lastly, here's the other chart, and I'm sorry this is small, but I can't get it kind of all to fit. The important thing to notice is this is kind of a heat map. Again, I'll be able to look here at the departments on the top, the participation rates and everything. And there's the organizational value, and then I can look by department and see how they did. And the pink ones are you know, a hotter color, let's just say, and indicate that there needs further evaluation. So it's just an interesting thing to have. And then we can look at this by the score. This is the score, or we can look at it by the delta too, the difference between the two. You know, you can see like here's an outlier right here, a big outlier, right? So it's pay and benefits. We look at maintenance, and maintenance staff aren't particularly happy about their pay and benefits. Right. So good tool, good information, and enough. I mean, the key takeaway here is we got enough participation that I really feel like we can take this, analyze it, come up with a plan that addresses staff concerns and make it actionable, and it should help us in the long run. But overall, you know, pretty good survey. Career fair. So I think some of you might have witnessed it. We had a taco truck, we had a scrub bus, we had all kinds of activity. What happened? What were the results of that day? So the results were 23 applicants were provided same-day interviews at that event. We made 4 same-day offers, which was good. 2 people came in for the director of facilities to interview, at least to have an initial interview, and we've hired that position, and I'll fill you in on that shortly. 2 resident engagement and care navigator interviews. So that's Sheridan's current role. It's been rebranded a little bit. And we had 2 interviews, and we've extended an offer for that position. That's all from this career fair. We had subsequently 4 additional interviews done that provided offers, and we've ended up with a fully staffed housekeeping and culinary department from this. So overall, overall successful event. The problem is we had 0 direct care workers. So our real issues here with recruiting CNAs in particular, which we hope to address here, didn't really pan out. So we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board and come up with another idea here. But did it help other operational departments? Definitely did. So here you go. Here's some other updates for you. The director of facilities position's been filled with Josh West. He will be starting in July. We're happy to have him join our team. The landscape manager role has really fallen flat. So we've had 0 applicants in a long time. I consider this an important role in the facilities department. We just have not gotten a lot of traction on this. So we're going to get back together. There's a group of us that are working strategically on recruitment. Get back together and see if we can find other ways to kind of, we'll say shake the bushes, because it's an outside thing, and see if we can find that position. But the culinary front of house position, that was also filled through the job fair. That was one of the 4 same-day offers, I believe. And that's Megan Height, so we're happy to have her join us. These are all pretty critical positions that were vacant. Our resident engagement and care navigator position's been filled. Some of you might recognize Brittany Smith. She was working with Connections Plus just recently. She had worked here previously. She has a strong social work background, and she'll be filling Sheridan's role when Sheridan leaves us later in June. So we feel pretty happy about having her join the team. And then just to let you know, we're also looking at the life enrichment manager, which is Jacqueline's current role, in a different light. So we're looking for someone that has a little more background in cognitive care, and we're have that with a recruiter right now. So we're going to try and spread a wide net and bring in some talent that helps support activities in the health center, but also helps us look at how we're providing cognitive care across the continuum. So this job will look and feel a little bit different when it gets here, okay? Any questions about all that HR stuff before I jump into the next? I mean, I'll have to take any questions at the end too. But from the rebranding efforts, just to let you know, if you get on our website, it looks a little bit different now. So that's about the extent of the rebranding issues right now. You'll start to see email signatures and things like that change. But generally, the biggest impact right now is the website. Kendall at Lexington's website has been updated to show the new Kendall brand. And then I did put on here point-click care. So what this is our, we've talked about it in projects. Sometimes we're just saying PCC, we're getting it out there really fast. We're not really saying what is this and what's the impact to the organization and you guys in the audience. So this is our electronic medical records. It's also sometimes referred to an EMR. This project has been going on for about 4 months, and it's converting from our existing system to this system called point-click care. And this is where the nursing staff will make all of their documentations for what goes on in Borden and Webster, and it's also what generates your bills. So an important difference here that I'm saying is that I wanted to let people aware of is, as we understand it right now, your bills will look different. We're going to try and get some examples that we can put in your mailbox with a memo, but they will look different, particularly if you end up in 2 levels of care. So apparently what this system does is it tracks you by your location, not by as a person. So if you're doing outpatient therapy and you're in independent living, you might get 2 bills. If you have a loved one in Borden or Webster and you're in independent living, you'll get 2 bills. It won't be on one statement anymore. So we want to get that out there. We're not 100% sure, to be honest with you, what it's going to look like. We're not 100% sure that June's bill will come out that way, but we do know it will look different, and we're going to try and get you some more information to look at that. So if you have questions, you can bring them into the business office and we'll work through them with you. But at the end, the total should be what you're used to. So is that okay?
Could you explain to us what the objective was to make the change, and what the benefits perceived to be?
Yeah, the benefits of making the change, one, it's a system that's more commonly used in the industry right now, so the direct care workers are much more familiar with it. It does capture the notes that people are taking in a much more organized way. It's a more robust system. So this is an advancement in a positive direction. And this was really a TKC initiative, I think a conversation that started prior to my start here, but it's been going on at the affiliate level for a long time, and the decision was made to convert to this, and now it's come down to us. But we've been working on it here on campus for about 4 months. Was it? Good. Okay. That's all I got. Any questions?
What can you share with us about the new director of facilities? Like, where's he coming from and experience and so on?
Sure. I can share a little bit. It's occurred to, let me go on a different tangent and then I'll come back to your question directly, Bruce. But it occurs to me that we haven't really done a very good job of doing organizational announcements, which it seems like I'm accustomed to doing. Now, this hire just got completed last night. So I'm giving you, sorry about this. He has an interesting background. He's local to Lexington, which we thought was a positive. His background was actually with Devil's Backbone. He helped develop and implement the brewery there. So he has more of an industrial, mechanical background, but has a wonderful kind of approach, and he's a Guilford College grad. So, which is good. And we just, I don't believe he is. It's a Quaker school, but I don't believe he's Quaker. Well, he was working at a brewery, so. Nonetheless, seems like he's going to be a super fit, and we'll get some Oregon announcements out, which I think should be a practice that we start doing more regularly. But this one's pretty new. So
thank you.
Let me share this too, Bruce. I think those org announcements really should be when people are leaving when it's appropriate to say why and what our plan is, and then when we replace. But I don't think we've really been doing that, so. Yes, ma'am.
Will there be any crossover with Todd?
Yes. 3 solid weeks, and then Todd doesn't live far away. Been incredibly gracious in making sure that the work he's done over the last 4 years here doesn't backslide. So he's committed to a solid handoff and continuing to provide support when appropriate. So.
I have a facetious question about that. Will Josh, I lost his last name, do charts and graphs?
He has committed to enjoying that. That was a question in the interview process, not kidding. I don't know, I think that was actually, was it Felicia that asked that question? She understand the value of the charts and graphs presentation. So it should continue, maybe not with the same accuracy. We're not gonna have it all, but yes. So.
Okay, continuing on the less serious side, how bad is the disruption in the apartments going to be to my cat?
Could you repeat the question?
She said, how bad will the disruption in the apartment building be to her cat? And I would say it'll probably bother your cat. So the cat may want to be under the bed for a while. So, yes.
Can you tell us any more about the differences in the job description with, I guess it's called the IL coordinator? What
Sure.
are we looking
Yeah. Let me tell you a little bit. So the idea behind this, and it's kind of half-baked at this point, but I can tell you where my mind is going with it, is that we are going to look to have an opportunity, at least annually, for each independent living person to engage with this person. So what that might look like, I'm not 100% sure yet, but we do ask you to update your file of life annually. So rather than do it as an event, this is me imagining this right now, like, here you go, everybody update it, and we're gonna take them all in. We might do it on an anniversary date or something like that, where we actually sit down and we say, how are things going? Do you need any resources? How can I help you? We got an updated file of life. Thank you. Having wonderful next 12 months, but at least you know who I am and where I am if you need help. That's kind of the nutshell behind the trip a little bit. So hopefully that resonates with people, but I really think that's going to be a way that helps us as staff recognize when there's need for support. Right now, sometimes we don't recognize it until it's a little bit too late. So, Lee.
Is there any thought that this person will provide any coordination when people are hospitalized and living?
If they're going from I think if they were going from the hospital to Borden or Webster, it would take place with the admissions people in Borden and Webster. If they're going from Borden and Webster to independent living, this person would help them with that transition. I think, if that's how I'm imagining it. So.
What about the care and feeding of Kendall Connect, particularly events?
Well, that's a conversation I think we're in the middle of, where we might have an opportunity to have residents take that back over. So right now that's a conversation between Vic and Wayne and me to figure out, but I think there's a new, not being an IT person, workaround. That should allow us to potentially turn that back over to residents to manage, which would be good. Yes?
With all of our land, with our people, with the advertising that's going to go up, and we already have 100% people waiting to come in, what's the next move for increasing our capacity?
Well, I mean, that's really a strategic planning question, I think. Right now, we're working on finalizing that strategic plan. And I don't think it'll be ready to share by the next, but it won't be, it'll be going to the board for approval in the July meeting. But sometime after that, there'll be a mechanism that we can share that in a similar setting as this, I would hope, with the greater community. But that really goes to strategic planning. I think the question was, with us being fully occupied, with there being a wait list, what are we considering doing? If people didn't hear the question, but it really goes to, it'll fall back on the strategic plan. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Anything more about board and 600?
It's really come to a staffing problem. So I will tell you that the facilities that we, facilities issues we had with the compressor and all that stuff we have addressed, so we're ready. We need some night CNAs. It's really what's holding us back. So that's really turned into a staffing problem at this point. So we're gonna get back together, like the job fair is an example of a tool that worked a little bit. We're just gonna have to get back to the drawing board and figure out what's the next strategic initiative that we can do that helps us find the people that we need. I'm not giving up with one event. We're gonna keep plugging away at this, so. Yes, ma'am.
I'm kind of thinking, I remember that there used to be coordination with a CNA training program where they did kind of an internship there, and that brought them onto our campus.
Mm-hmm. We still participate in that with Mountain Gateway Community College and the high school. The CNAs that came through, it was a very interesting observation. They went through this 6-week class, but none of them really wanted to be CNAs. Many were going to nursing school, many did the class and they're gonna go do something else. So it was kind of an interesting lesson. So, people do the class because it's a 6-week class.
We used to be very disappointed when wait staff in the dining room and the CNAs didn't stick around, and then it was pointed out to us that these are really kind of trial positions for a lot of people, to see if it's what they like. Maybe they do want to be a CNA, but not in this kind of environment, maybe one-on-one or something, but not. Anyway, we shouldn't be surprised if those people didn't stick around.
Not surprised, no. Thank you. All right, I'll hang out up here if there's any more questions. Happy to hang around for a few minutes, but thank you all for your time.